before I. And we're going to do a little meditation. It's not going to be for long, but it's just a really nice opportunity to ground, to connect with the breath, to connect with what wants to come through here for you specifically, because this is about you. You are the receiver. This is about you and your own unique individual journey. So let's take some space to meditate together. And you can get comfortable. You can keep your screen on or you can turn it off. It's whatever you like. You can close your eyes and you can just let yourself arrive and settle here and really just welcome yourself from your day, from whatever you've been doing into this place of arriving. And you can have this sense of just calling every part of you here into wholeness, calling every aspect of you, calling all of your energy back into this moment. And as you do that, can you feel this gentle landing into your body, this settling? You might feel a deeper grounding down into your hips and your pelvis. You might feel a softening of your skin. You might feel the natural deepening tide of your breath that happens when you come back home, when you tune in. So right now you're just allowing this beautiful meeting of yourself just as you are. So let the breath flow as it flows. It might move in through your nose, it might pour out through the mouth, just depending on where it's meeting you in your life right now and in your body. So just allowing that. And come into this resonance with the breath where you remember what it feels like to breathe intentionally. And then I invite you to take your awareness, let your awareness move up above you. And just sense that above you, above your crown, is this warm, glowing, radiant light. And it's illuminating you and it's coming down from the creator, from source. It's delivered from God, from the universe. And right now, all that you're doing is you're simply just allowing this beautiful light to move down through you, to move all around you, and to really fill you up. And it pours into you with intentionality, because you, every part of you, every cell, you're just here to receive it. Just to breathe it in, this light, this power, that's frequency, that is connecting you to all that is reminding you of your infinite capacity to allow in just as you are, allow in abundance, allow in radiance, clarity, whatever it is that you are seeking, whatever it is that you are here to receive. And you just let it flood your body, imprinting this vessel that is your spiritual and energetic container. And you feel into the way that you, in your choosing, in your consciousness, can become more expansive, can become more open, more available, more surrendered as this vessel, receiving this golden, luminous energy. And this light that you now feel in your whole being, this light reminds you who you are, not your identity, not your roles, not your doing, but your essence, your truth, who you are beneath the illusion that tempts to persuade you that you're separate from the divine. So can you just feel, as you're connected to this part of you, that you reclaim your power, that you remember that you are first and foremost, fundamentally, an expansive soul. And in this remembrance alone, you begin to tune back into and feel a spark within you that represents or illuminates your deepest desire, your true desire. Not the ego ones that can be fleeting, but the one that is given to you, that is planted in your heart, no one else's. The one that you chose before you came into this world. So, can you sense that? Can you allow that to come to life through your being in a way that feels like it's already done? What does that feel like? Can you expand into that felt sense? Turn up the dial. What does that look like? And in a moment, as it feels ready for you, I'm going to invite you to just place a hand on your heart and maybe a hand on your womb space. And you're just going to say either out loud or in your mind, I remember this version of me. I trust her. I am her. And you just allow this frequency to feel like it's your normal, that it's your set point. Take a couple more breaths with that before you come back into this space. And just notice in that brief time, that brief moment, what you remembered just from that, what you have accessed, what you've come home to. Feel free to write it down. Feel free to share it if you'd like. Either way, just capture it. Maybe it's in words, maybe it's just anchoring in that felt sense. And if you want to share it, pop it in the chat. Beautiful. I'm glad you like that. So I want to share something that's really interesting. And feel free to keep sharing as we go along, as things land for you, as there's a resonance. So yesterday I had this pleasure of sitting down and interviewing this beautiful woman called Reverend Lynn LeBroyd. And I'm actually going to be publishing this as a podcast episode tomorrow. She is a psychic. She's got an incredible story, like over 40 years experience of being on this spiritual pilgrimage and all the work that she's done. And she's a channel now, and she actually channels Jesus and Mary Magdalene. She's written a book about Mary Magdalene. Phenomenal presence and energy. And I asked her, what are we here for? Right? What are we here for? What are we here as souls for? And she said to me, we're here to remember. We're here to remember that we are everything, that we are God, that we are source, that we are creator, whatever description lands for you. And it's interesting because a couple of days ago, I started to open up the channel for what wanted to come through for this. And I was reflecting on, before I had this conversation with her, if I was to choose one of the most powerful truths that I would want women to remember and to anchor into and deeply embody, it's our role as a creator in our own life. You are a creator. And if you are here today, if you're here listening to this call, it's because a part of you knows this. And that part of you is like waking up all of the other parts of you, right? We are incredible beings. We have over 3 trillion cells just in our being, just in our body, in our physicality, in our energy. So we've been so pulled away from that truth into the illusion and into the conditioning. But the fact is, you've always been a creator. And actually, you can't not create. It's like saying if you're a fish, you can't not swim. That's what you are so instinctively, so intuitively. Most of the time, though, we do it quite unconsciously. Most of the time, we do it, without thinking, but literally we are creating all the time through our frequency, through what we're emitting. And if you are done with creating unconsciously by, I call it kind of falling asleep at the wheel, right? Or creating more from what you are doing, the doing all of the time, instead of from just the pure essence of who you are and who you're being, then you're here in the right place. But first and foremost, fundamentally, we need to remember that we are a spiritual being. Okay? This is that remembrance. Like that's the fundamental part of this. And as I said, we are vibrational beings. So we are continuously giving off a signal, emitting a signal all the time, and in turn, attracting and receiving what becomes the vibrational match for that, what we're meeting. Okay. But it's really quite simple. It's all energy and it's all inherent within you, this ability to shape your life, to design your life, to imagine, to choose, to bring your ideas into form. It's not something that you're given, and it's not something that you go out and get. Like, this is who you are. It's your nature. So in this process that Lynn talks about, like in this process of remembering, often we just need to clear the fog. We just need to remove the illusion that we're not that. So today I'm not talking about the forceful striving way of creating, right? The one that's so rooted in approval and in validation, or that's come from fear and lack, because that path exists and it's old and it's outdated. And if you're here, it's because you're done with that, right? It's the one that's broadcasted throughout society, predominantly. That's masculine dominant way of manifesting that we've been conditioned into, right? And in subscribing to that model, we've forgotten the feminine way, the more magnetic, soul-led way of creating, in the way that we were designed, right? The way of allowing, like even just letting those words move through you, the frequency of those words, allowing, receiving, right? And you've been called by your soul, right? You've been called by your soul to be here now, because you are here to lead. And you're here not just to lead others, but most importantly, first and foremost, you're here to lead yourself. Right? We can't lead others if we don't know how to lead ourselves, if we don't know how to keep leading ourselves home into this remembrance. And then it becomes the most easeful, natural way to lead others, because we lead others from the essence of who we're being, if that makes sense. Okay. So we came here to return to ourselves, and in that returning, we unleash our greatest power, because you remember that nothing that you have been asking for, nothing that you've been seeking is actually separate from you, is outside of you, because you're not separate from this intelligence that moves through everything, that brings life forward. God, source, universe, creator, that same energy that turns the seasons, that births the galaxies, right? We're not separate from it. We are it. We are it. I am that I am is one of the most powerful mantras. I am that I am. So if you have been in my world for a while, you would know that my teachings are anchored in soul first, in spirit first, in our connection to the divine and to all that is. And I actually can't imagine moving through life and creating without that conscious, like I'm going to say this conscious fundamental partnership that I move and am in tune with every day. Right? We get pulled into things like worry and doubt and fear only when we forget this connection. Lynn was saying to me on the podcast, she has no worry. She's in her 60s. It's like, I have no wrinkles. I have no worry. Worry doesn't exist when you are that connected, when you remember the truth of who you are. Right? But we have been conditioned to forget, and yet we're here to remember. So our job is to keep walking ourselves. Like I said, we've got to lead ourselves first, to keep walking ourselves home. And that is your sovereignty. That's the power of your intention and your conscious effort, right? But you are so capable. We are so capable of doing this. And when we do this, our world changes. Okay. But first and foremost, we have to know what was the illusion, right? The world that taught us that we needed to shrink in order to survive, that we needed to strive to succeed, that we needed to seek that validation outside of ourselves and chase fulfillment. And in all of that striving, we lost touch with a part of ourselves that actually knows just how to receive, how to allow, how to let this divine unfolding, right? Because there is already a divine plan for our life. We've already mapped it out. Okay. But we get in our own way, thinking we have to figure it out and make it happen. And this is where the magic of surrender comes in, right? We thought that if we just kept working, we just keep doing, if we just keep achieving and sacrificing, we will get there. Like, how many times have you said to yourself, like, I'll get there. I will get there. I'll get there. Where is there? Like, where is there? What is it? Do we ever get there? And what is it that we're waiting for? Let me know if you relate. Like, let me know, where was there? Still don't know where there is, right? It's here. Right? It's here. It's here. So which path, like, ask yourself, which path have I predominantly followed in my life? That path of force or the path of flow? And maybe you're moving in between the two at the moment, or maybe you're clear that right up until this point, I know, but guess what? You get to choose another way. We get to rewrite the pattern. We get to rewrite a whole new script. And we often do this in the second part of our lives because we're done. We're so over doing it the certain way and realize that actually it's just a vicious cycle and never there, never getting there. What if I just choose that I'm here right now? Okay. We chase the energy instead of becoming the spiritual vessel that magnetizes it. We chase love instead of already just embodying the version of ourselves who naturally attract that, because we are that. Right? We chase money instead of cultivating this deep inner safety and stability that just lets it flow in. Right? We chase the validation instead of remembering that right now we're worthy, right now. Actually, we always have been since the moment we were conceived, since the moment we existed. We are worthy because we are. Okay. So maybe this is a newer path for you of returning, or maybe you were someone that's been on this path for a while. Right? You've got the information, you've read the books, I don't know, you've done the vision boards, the affirmations. I've done it all. I've been manifesting since I was like, I don't know, 17 years old, whatever, all of the different things. But maybe there's still a gap. Is there still a gap between where you are? And just be honest with yourself. Is there a gap right now? Is there a dissonance between where I am and where I desire to be? And what I'm sharing is something that I've been working on, and I'll share it more at the end of this call. It's a program that I'm so excited about that brings together all of these teachings and practices that support us to live that now, not to wait, not to be in the gap, but to live as the desires now, to live as our highest vision now, to live as our highest self now. And that is the highest path. Highest. Okay, so it's this shift from waiting. We're like waiting for the abundance, waiting for the clarity and the certainty. And I know I work with women, and a lot of them will have delayed things, happiness or fulfillment, or until this. It will come after this, right? So we're shifting from the waiting to becoming it. becoming that which you're seeking. And in doing so, you let life meet you there. So I've had a strong spiritual connection since I was young, and I understood from a young age the power that we have to create, right? That we all have. But still, there was a part of me that thought that I needed to, let's say, make it happen, that I needed to chase. And like a part of me that even wanted to, that was a little bit addicted to that, I can see, right? Like looking back, I can see that that way of operating, it did bring me success. It even brought me fulfillment. But it was driven by a part of me that didn't fully believe that I was enough, that didn't yet feel whole, and that often let the doubts call the shots, right? Maybe you can relate, or the fear call the shots. So I kept seeking that validation then outside of myself, chasing results, outcome, like approval, confirmation, like trying to prove something that I hadn't yet claimed within, right? And there always comes this point, and there did for me, of surrender, where I said to myself, like, what if this actually gets to be easier? And everything changed when I returned to this remembrance, and this remembrance that I get to choose, that I'm the creator, not from a place of striving to become something else, but from a place of wholeness, knowing that I already am. And from here, it's like there was a softening, right? Because that frequency, when you affirm something like that for yourself, that frequency itself carries an energetic signature that aligns you with your desires, right? So it's this, I shifted from hustling to achieve, which I've done. I've built, created, built, grew successful businesses and yoga studios over 15 years, right? I've done that way, right? But so going from the hustling to knowing my role, my role as the feminine is instead is to prepare my vessel to receive. And so what is our vessel? It's like, it's our spiritual container, our entire spiritual capacity, our willingness to be open and to receive and to hold it, all that's meant for us, all that's meant to come through us, because the universe, God, source, needs us to live out these desires. Otherwise, what are we here for, right? We are here to do that. We are on our own individual soul mission to bring forth the desires. I always say, like, the desires that are for you, they're not just for you, they're for everyone, they're for the world, right? So you have a role to play, but we spend so much time doing the role that's not for us, working, like figuring out the how, all of that. That's for the divine. We are here to receive. So when we understand how to nourish and expand our vessel through alignment, through surrender, through trust, like these are really, really big key things, then we become that match for what we once thought we had to chase. Okay. So this is the true essence of manifestation, right? From feeling like I need to go out and make it happen, I need to keep chasing it and keep achieving it, to becoming, right? It's all in the becoming, the vibrational match for what's already here, just waiting to find you, right? So what I learned from this, biggest thing I've learned was, like, you don't attract what you chase. We know that, right? Like, if you've ever tried to chase a guy before, you know, that just sends them running the other way. We don't attract what we chase, but we receive what we are prepared to hold, what we're prepared to hold. I love this leaky bucket metaphor with this, right? Imagine if your vessel, your soul is like this bucket, and your bucket is filled with limiting beliefs and fears and wounds and doubts, and maybe even like expectations and responsibilities and stories of the past that you've been clinging to. And maybe that means that your bucket is so full of all of this shit, or maybe it means that there's holes like in your bucket. Either way, if we are desiring something and we have like maybe a really, really small bucket or a really, really full bucket that's overflowing with all the things that just don't bring us joy, don't light us up, right? That weigh us down, or we've got the holes in it. No matter how much life has to give you, right? That life comes and pours into your life, all of the money, all of the love, all of the whatever it is. If you're not calibrated to hold it, if we're not able to hold it, it's just not going to be able to get into us. It'll flow straight through or it'll miss us. We have to be ready for it. So the solution is not to go and chase more of what we want by praying harder and doing another vision board or hoping or desiring it. The solution is how do I need to take care of my vessel? How do I need to prepare my vessel to do the inner work to clarify or to expand it or to repair it, right? And the long and the short of that is when we do that, when it's strong enough, when it's clear enough, when it's expansive enough, what is meant for you will absolutely find you because you have become the woman who can hold it, if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense, right? So let's talk about then, because this is what you're here for, what are ways that we can move more into feminine receivership? And I've captured 4 kind of key ways that have helped me that I think land for me. And the first one is to purify your intention, to clarify your intention. And I love this one, let yourself fall in love with your desires. Right? And as I'm saying this, I want you to notice or note down where you are at with this in your own life. Because I know I will work with clients that will either say that they don't know what their desires are, they don't know what it is, which isn't actually truth because we all have them, but maybe we've just been conditioned to believe through a number of different ways that it's not safe to claim that, it's not safe to even look at that because I don't believe I can have it. Right? But this comes back to recognizing that everything that you want, everything that you desire already exists. It's already created. It already exists as a potential in the infinite field. Right? Call this the quantum field. Right? It's already present. It exists as a potential. And there are multiple potentials for you in the infinite field. Okay. And I think that this is really important to understand is that there is no shortage, right? Love is infinite. Same with abundance, money, wealth. There is trillions of dollars that are it's moving about the world. It's infinite. Success is infinite. Opportunities for you are infinite. There is no lack of any of it. But we simply need to be ready and available to welcome that in, right? To be in our feminine magnetism. And we're going to talk about how we do that a bit more, right? But if you have a seed that's planted in your awareness, a seed of desire in your heart, in your mind, it is put there by the divine. It comes to you from the divine, right? Source placed it there because you are the one, exactly you, are the one to bring that into form. Right? So if you're sitting there going this feels really big, Amy, this feels like this desire feels big and it feels massive, it's because you can hold it. It's because you have the mechanics to cultivate it, to call it in. And even more so than that, you have the mechanics and the capacity and the know-how before the desire. You had that before the desire was even given to you. You have the solution before it's even come to you. How cool is that, right? You have the capacity. So what does that mean? What does that feel like then if you could just let yourself for a moment have a bit of a love affair with your desires, lean into them, write about them, explore it. And what is that shift for you in knowing that actually this isn't just something that I want, this is something that's designed for me. This is something that's my assignment to bring it into form in this three-dimensional world that we're playing in for this limited time that we're here. Right? And we've done all this before. So the second thing is then, we as a spiritual vessel become more able to receive what we desire by becoming like what we desire. Right? What does this mean? It means that we receive in our becoming. Okay? By being the match, the energetic match for our desires is how we receive our desires. Okay? I'll expand into that a little bit more if that feels a little like, ooh. By aligning our internal frequency, which is our thoughts, okay, our internal frequencies, our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, right? By aligning our internal frequency with what we say we want, right? So our job here is like, how much can I feel into how much, and we did a little bit of this at the start in the meditation. How much can I attune to the version of me who already has it? Who already has it? Because here's the thing. I'll go a step further. Bear with me. She already exists. She's already living that. Right? Time only exists in this three-dimensional realm that we play in. But when we go beyond that, and you feel that when you meditate, right? You feel all of a sudden, I'm not this body. I'm so much bigger. I'm so much more. In that realm that you go to, in that quantum, time doesn't exist. So she already exists, the one who is living that reality, who has that dream job, who has the level of abundance that you might be seeking, who has the top like job, or is traveling the world, or has the podcast, whatever it is the love. She already exists. So if you want to attract, let's say, wealth, it's like becoming the embodiment, the walking, sleeping, living, breathing embodiment of abundance. So the question that we then ask ourselves is not what should I do, which I think is the question that we ask ourselves most in life. Do you agree, right? What should I do? What do I need to do? We keep coming back to that. That is like the masculine. What do I do? That's not our question to ask. Right? Our question to ask then is, who must I become to hold what I am calling in? Who must I become to hold what I am calling in? That's the question. So the moment that you allow yourself to become, because she already exists, this is the remembrance, allow yourself to become the person who can receive and hold what you're asking for. That's when we collapse time. That's when it happens effortlessly. That's when the universe conspires to bring it to you, because you're embodying it. You're a match for it. The gap is the non-belief. The gap is the believing that I can't do it, that I don't deserve it, that I don't know how to make it happen. That's when we're in the gap between what we're desiring and actually seeing the physical manifestation of it, right? So this preparation that we do, like I call it this preparation of our spiritual vessel, this preparation of our soul, it's a daily, it's not passive, right? It's a daily posture of readiness, of gratitude, of receptivity, of even prayer, right? You'll know what's right for you, but it's of raising your vibration to match your desires. Like, and this isn't just a woo thing to say of like, high vibes and raise your vibration. No, it's actual science of like, what is it that raises my vibration? What is it that lifts me up, that brings me joy? How can I become the match? When we become the match for what we desire, we're in harmony with it, that which we desire. arrives. Okay. We don't get in harmony through the hustle. We get in harmony through the allowing. Okay. The best way for you to raise your vibration is in the remembrance every day. And you might even, I've got some clients at the moment who are setting themselves alarm clocks through the day, loving, joyful alarm clocks, right? And this might be a reminder for them to pray. It might be a reminder for them to embody the feeling of that version of them that's living that desire. It might be a reminder for them to just be in meditation and let themselves receive and feel what that's like. Right? But it is that daily reminder. Reverend Lynn was saying she connects with God. It's for her, it's God every hour, right? Like 5 minutes of every hour, because she knows it's not just her. She's not doing this alone. This is a partnership. Okay. And it's in this remembrance. And that's what keeps you out of the illusion. That's what keeps you out of being bypassed, like by the ego that wants to just try and lead us astray, because it's rooted in that fear and that doubt and that lack and that survival. Okay. So we raise our vibration by remembering the truth of who we are, by remembering that we're abundance already. It's not a thing that we attract in, it's a state of being. Okay. Let me know how that lands. If that lands, pop a little emoji or pop a one if that is resonating, or yeah, level up your energy, silence, compassion. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So just letting yourself, allowing yourself, beautiful. So the third thing is taking inventory. And I think that this is so important before we go doing anything else. Like we so buy into the channel of manifestation that just says like, see it, imagine it, do your vision board. I don't do vision boards anymore because I trust in my alignment so much. And I know that source, the universe, God holds my vision and I'm here to receive it. Right? A lot of that way of operating is more of a manufactured way of manifesting, more of an ego-based way of manifesting. So here, this is the embodiment piece, is like, how is your vessel? And one of the most important things that you need to ask yourself is, do you believe you can have it? Do you believe that you deserve it, that it's possible? This is what creates the gap, the juncture, is the juncture between what we want and whether we believe that we can have it. And what we need to do is we either need to downgrade the intention, the desire, or we need to up-level the belief. But that's what creates the gap. So do you believe that it's possible? Identifying where your vessel is limited by the old stories that you keep on repeat, that you keep buying into, that you keep giving airtime to, the old beliefs. We can only hold what we believe we deserve, otherwise it will miss you. And life is trying to get you to realize that and understand that at all times. It's like it's here, it's on a platter, it's going, we want this for you, this is available for you. But if you're holding a vibration of I don't believe I deserve that, for whatever reason, and there's many reasons why we might hold that vibration from our conditioning. Right? If we don't believe that, then that which we're seeking won't be able to find us. It will miss us. Okay. So you might like ask yourself, where do I struggle? Where do I struggle in my life to hold on to blessings? What if somebody offers me something? What if somebody wants to give me something, whether that's a gift or a compliment or support or help? Like, do I really take time to honor and appreciate the blessings that are already in my life? Or am I continually looking at where is the next thing, even though I'm living in this amazing house and I'm driving this really beautiful car and I've got these incredible children around me, or I've got this loving husband, or I've got this friend? Like, are we always looking at what is next, what is next, what is next? This insatiable need to keep filling up our vessel, when rather than actually going like, what is it that I truly soul desire that I'm here for? And how can I look and appreciate and honor the blessings that are already in my life? Yeah. Yes, Christine, I'm working on limiting the beliefs. Yeah. And that's a process, right? But also realize that in our fullness, in our wholeness, there is no limitation, right? Part of the thing with limiting beliefs is that we can also get really stuck into continually looking for them, thinking that we're not enough. When we just come back into this remembrance that I am that I am, that I am the creator, that I am connected to all there is, then those limitations don't exist, right? And we can focus on becoming the woman who doesn't have those limitations. They're not there. They're part of the old self, if that makes sense. So that's another way. Yeah, rewiring the brain absolutely is part of it. I was just told the same message in a reading last night. Yeah, beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. We're so led. We're so looked after. We're so taken care of. When I was in this, keep going back to this podcast because it was so fresh. It was right there. But she was talking about people that had come into my field a couple of days, like teachers that I had been, like the universe had brought into my field a couple of days prior, and then somebody else had, and I was like, okay, all right. And then after the thing, she says to me, I think you should do this. And it's with this guy. I was like, okay, that's the third time. Like, it doesn't miss us. It doesn't miss us. But we need to do our part to stay open, to see the blessings, to see the synchronicities, to see the signs, like you just did, Christine, where you go, that's the second time. I've got it. Right? Great. I've anchored it in because you can receive it. Right? Where do I feel unworthy and afraid of receiving more? Right? Because maybe it does feel unsafe. Your patterns, right? What's showing up for you. And like the universe loves you so much that it's going to show you what you're ready to release. It's going to show you the patterns that are keeping you anchored into an old identity. So your patterns will point you to where your vessel needs strengthening, right? And as I said, often we first need to be able to let go of the old identities. I had a moment in this last week where something came up and I was so clear that, oh my gosh, that was the old me. I actually used to operate in that way. That was the old patterning. And I feel so far removed from her now. She's not who I am now. And it's really beautiful when you can see that, right? So letting go of those old identities and attachments and the ego-driven narratives that are creating holes in your bucket. Okay, so we've got to be able to repair. Yeah. And it will keep showing up to Amelia, repeating the same cycle, same story. And that's when we ask, like, what do I need to see here? I'm ready to release this. What do I need to see? All right, this one, number 4, I think is everything. Right. I don't think we can do anything without this. And that is faith and surrender. Right. Being wise enough to know to let the divine lead, and it's leading you are leading yourself home. Right? Ramdas says we're all walking each other home. We're walking ourselves home first. We're walking ourselves home. So let's talk about faith and surrender. Right? We prepare the vessel by releasing the need to control, fix, and force. That is not where we get anything. We don't get anything from that. Okay, it's not serving us. Not in our feminine power. We absolutely have to be able to cultivate a deep trust that what is meant for us, it's already here. It's already on the way to us, right? We have to open to receive. We have to be able to surrender attachments to the outcome, to the how, right? And this is where faith becomes the foundation of receiving. This frequency of faith is foundational. And I think that trust and faith are the most underutilized qualities in manifestation and in leadership and in life, right? And why do you think that is? Right? Why is faith and trust such underutilized qualities, right? Because we've been conditioned to believe that there's no safety in them. Because we've been taught that the only way to get safety is to control our external world, is to strategize, is to have a plan B. I don't have a plan B in my life. There's no plan B because I trust so much. I have so much faith that I can take leaps, I can take risks, right? But it's not a risk when it's coming from your soul. So there's no plan B, right? So I know if I look personally at anything that I've created in my life, and I've manifested some pretty epic, beautiful, amazing things, anything that's really felt divinely orchestrated and worthwhile and just like, OMG, right? They arose from decisions and inspired action that was not rooted in logic. There was no plan B, no plan C. Turf that out, right? Was not rooted in logic. There is no logic. Okay. So, that's the truth of it. And some people might look on paper and go, you're batshit crazy, right? But the craziest thing for me would be not having this connection, not honoring this connection, not making it your fundamental priority day in, day out to align with this. Okay. Because true quantum creation does not operate in that way of control and logic. It operates in the realm of infinite possibility, not probability. So, why do you need to have the plan B if you're operating in the realm of infinite possibility? Okay. And I do really believe that this is what holds so many of us back because we are so used to living a life defined by reason and logic. I mean, look what comes through our schooling system, right? We're not taught to make decisions that are based on felt sense, that are based on intuition, not to mention like based on my guides told me to do this. Right? Imagine that. Where did you come up with this idea, Johnny? Well, Jesus told me. Mary Magdalene came in last night and she said to do this or whatever, right? Archangel Michael gave me a nudge. They're like, something's wrong with Johnny. Right? So we weren't taught that we can access, that we can call in anything that we can imagine. Right? Einstein gave us that beautiful wisdom. As Bob Proctor said, the late Bob Proctor, I love Bob Proctor. He said, if you can hold it in your hand, if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. Right? If it's here in your imagination, Neville Goddard talks about that the imagination is God within us, giving us that, leading us. Okay. But in schooling, we're taught like, don't daydream. Go with what's certain, what you know. So anyway, I could go on about that for a while. So anchoring into trust and faith is an energetic power move. It's like our go-to as women if we want to live a deeply magnetic, embodied life connected to our soul. We have to have trust and faith in the driver's seat. And fear and doubt need to go right back. Right? Get rid of them. I mean, we do need to still have fear, of course, but worry and doubt doesn't feel like it's needed on this path, right? So this is when we say, I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. I know what I cannot see. And if you're not feeling like you know it right now, you're trusting that you will be shown. The breadcrumbs are there for you. You're going to be shown in each moment, right? The universe will always meet you in your clarity, in your surrender, in your alignment, right? The more you trust, the more you receive. The more you anchor into faith, the more life rises to meet you, okay? So this is the beautiful work. And I don't even want to say the word work because when I say work, you can conjure up feelings of like, it's hard, it's something I have to do. It's not about doing, it's about being, it's about becoming, it's about returning to the truth of who you are and dissolving all of the illusion that life has conditioned you to believe that you're not that. Okay. But it's loving and taking care of and refining our vessel so that you can hold the desires that are already there in the higher realms. And a lot of the work that I do is supporting women to tap into that because that is alive in all of us. right? That's not something that we are necessarily gifted in, or that's just given to a few who want to, really who are tapped into their intuition. As women in our feminine magnetism and power, we are intuitive beings. We receive from the divine. And I feel like in order to co-create a fulfilling, enriching, deeply joyful, loving life, whatever it is that you are seeking alongside the divine, then first and foremost, we need to be able to receive the wisdom that wants to come through. We need to be able to receive the guidance and the messages. A couple of months ago, well, no, it was in, I don't know, late January, I got this guidance. So each year at the beginning of the year, and I did a podcast episode on this about miracles, I had a word, one word or two word that comes to me. It's delivered to me from my guidance team, who I'm in, communion with every day. That kind of sets the tone of the year. And the word at the time was miracles, which I was pretty excited about. I was like, I'll take that. That's a beautiful word. And the second word, it wasn't here. I wasn't able to grab it. It wasn't, it usually comes a little bit later. And so I let go. And in late January, I sat down and I do my regular kind of checking in and prayer in the morning. And I said to my guides, what is it that you want me to know? Or what is it that you want me to do? And they said, go away, like book a trip for a few days. And so I opened up a computer and I found somewhere like by myself, go take yourself out. And I went out into the hinterland, like back into the hinterland where I am in the Sunshine Coast. And I got a little cabin and I knew that there was something that needed to come through because I was it was just so aligned where this place was that I was going to go to. When I got there, the second word came to me and it was magnetism. And what that trip ended up being about, because I had my computer, was bringing through this program for women like yourselves that are here on this journey of remembrance and becoming. And in that process of remembering and becoming, being able to magnetize in miracles, because I've claimed that I'm in the business of miracles now, and the women that I'm working with are experiencing profound, profound shifts. And this is what I've been working on, and this is what is kind of birthing. So it's called Magnetism and Miracles, of course, because that's what came through, and it's the work that I'm most lit up by. It's the work that has served me the most. That if I could distill and encapsulate all of the teachings and the practices and the embodiment journey into one immersive program container, it's this, right? And it's this work that initiates, I feel, the lasting shifts, right? Not just this is what sets you on a new trajectory. This is what elevates you onto that timeline where you are living as your highest self. And it unlocks a deep remembrance, and it anchors you into your own power to create and to receive and to lead with soul in whatever way that you are designed to, right? And it taps you into that as well. So yeah, so that's what is birthing through, and it's called Magnetism and Miracles, and it is an 8-week live program, which means that you are with me and the other women every week for about 8 or 9 weeks for the practices, for the processes, for the teachings, for the coaching, for the connection with the other women. There is a lot that is in this. And if this resonates with you and you want to dive deeper, I will send you the details. The really, really cool thing about this, because this is the first time I've run this program, it's at a crazy price. And you have 48 hours if you do want to join, that you get an extra 333 off the price. And for the first 5 people that join, you get a one-to-one session with me, which is like less than half the price of what you would actually pay for the for the course. So I'm just putting that out there into that as well, and I will send the details through. But more importantly, I think we can be called to our soul, and maybe this is something for you, and maybe it's not something for you right now, and that is okay too. But what is important is that we as women understand our not only our role to receive, but to take care of ourselves and to prioritize ourselves. And this is how we take care of our vessel, when we start to say yes. The investments that I've made in myself, the investments that I've made in mentoring, in learning, in growing, are the ones that have paid huge dividends. It's the ones that have shifted me onto that new trajectory. And we can do it alone sometimes. But if you're really wanting that acceleration, doing it with other women, doing it with someone alongside you that can lovingly guide you and that can point out some of those blind spots. And not only that, someone who believes in you, who claims that space for you as well, who knows that what you have here, that this desire, that this seed for you is here to come to life and it's time. And that is really what I feel absolutely moves the needle. And it's really exciting to share that and to have that out there. And I want to open up, if you have got anything that you want to share, or if you have any questions, and then I'm going to finish off with a little mantra to rewire your field that I would love for you to receive, and we will do that in a moment as well. This program, by the way, starts middle of June and runs until the end of July. And it's 7 weeks of teachings with a 2-week integration, because there's an embodiment period in that as well. And you have the calls with me, you have the coaching with me, we have a Voxer chat that's open as well for you to be tapping into your own channel and sharing, and women supporting each other. There's going to be some classes as well with guest teachers around nervous system regulation, because that somatic work is so important in preparing our vessel. And it's just a beautiful opportunity to celebrate yourself and to celebrate each other and walk alongside each other as well. So that I will send you that, and you can have a look into that. All right. It has been so, so, so lovely having you guys here. Please let me know if you do have anything you want to share, if you have any questions before we move on. What? You're so, so welcome. You're so welcome. It's been beautiful to see your faces. All right. So let's do this. Put your hand on your heart and close your eyes. There's something so powerful, and you guys are all muted, so you can do this as well. But there is something so, so powerful about claiming, proclaiming, invoking, like speaking words out into the universe, and you choosing. And often, like, life is waiting for us to do that for ourselves. We can sit back as bystanders to our own life, thinking that life is happening to us, thinking that maybe we're a victim of circumstances. And it's so not like that at all. And at all times, as I mentioned, we are giving off this frequency, and in turn, we are receiving. So, what if you choose a new way? What if you choose a new frequency? What if you choose a new core vibration that you're going to put out into the world? So let's say this mantra. You can say it out loud. I won't hear you. You can breathe it into your heart, and you can receive it all at the same time. Everything in my life is happening for me and through me. I trust my soul's choices. I embrace my challenges as stepping stones to my highest fulfillment. I am led, I am guided in each moment by my soul, by God, by my highest alignment. I am exactly where I'm meant to be. And I am ready to receive all that is waiting to reach me. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. Take a few moments to just be with your breath, to just feel the remembrance that you've come home to feel what is wanting to come through you, maybe from your own guidance team, from your own soul team that are here with you. And in giving to yourself in this way, you are clarifying, solidifying this channel to receive everything that's here for you. You are the channel. And you are the miracle. And you are magnetic just by being who you are as you are. So, what can you today let yourself receive? Something that you have never yet allowed in. What is here for you that you can receive? Physically, energetically, emotionally, just feel. Your soul team will show you. Maybe it's a quality activation. And just feel that. And say to yourself, I am that I am. I am that I am. You get to choose your life. It is yours for the taking. So just feel, and we'll bring in Archangel Michael around you now. Is just going to cut through any threads or cords to limitation, to anything or anyone that has taken or you have allowed an outsourcing of your own power, of your strength. And as you clear and release these threads, these cords to old identities and old timelines that no longer serve you and old stories that have been bringing you down, you call back and call yourself back into wholeness and into your power. And you remember, I am everything I've been seeking. Right now, I am everything I've been seeking. Thank you so, 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 so much for being here, for taking this space for yourself. Your soul thanks you. And if you want to join me in this container, I can assure you it will change your life. And if not, I will see you in another way, shape, or form. That podcast episode comes out tomorrow, so have a listen to that because it's a good one. It's a really good one. I think you guys will love it. Just pop in the chat one word that you're anchoring in. Let me know how you feel or what you've received. or what you've remembered. Beautiful. Alignment. I was told to trust myself. Yeah. Miracles. Kylie, I love that. If not now, when? Clarity. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies. You are all amazing. You are all divine goddesses. You are all here to lead this new earth. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And I think you know that as well. And it's really exciting. Have the most beautiful, beautiful day. You're also welcome. And I will see you again really soon. Take care.